during this time of year. It could be small, it could be big, it could be a birthday, or something different. Yes, please. Yeah, Nora. Thank you, Nora. It wouldn't have happened without you, and so we really appreciate that. It was Hanukkah in Oxford Chase, and in years past, over the past 2 years of the pandemic, we were doing Hanukkah on the back of a pickup, going around the city to different congregants' neighborhoods and lighting Hanukkah candles. But the one thing that's stuck from the past 2 years, or 3 years really, has been doing Shabbat, or Hanukkah in Oxford Chase, and so that's been a fun tradition to maintain. There were a lot of people there. So thank you, Nora. Others? Yeah, please. Wow, wonderful. Mazel tov. That's great. Yeah, go for it, Susan. That's wonderful. Mazel tov. Well, last night for Hanukkah, we have our growing family in Atlanta started out with just my parents and me, and now we have about 18 or 19 people that come around the Shabbat table, or could come around the Shabbat table. But it's tough to get all of us together. But last night, we had one of the first times in a long time that we were all able to gather around for Hanukkah and exchange presents, and it was a really fun to see the little kids and the cousins and all the big kids and the adults having a great time. Anything in your life, Jessica?
I would say getting to experience my son's first Hanukkah has been so. He has no idea what's going on. He's only 7 months old, but he loves the lights of the candles, and it's really special to have him there. Yeah. Wonderful.
For all of these things that we can share thanks for, we turn to page 648 for words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh.
We know how essential it is to enjoy those joyful moments that we can share in our lives, but also equally important to be there for one another when we need support, when we need that rock of friends and family and community and prayers that come along with it. In our community, we are praying for the strength and healing of Brenda Grazier, Chaim Ben Sarah, Aaron Goldberg, Elaine Schlissel, Marvin Davis, Jerry Penn, David Ben Label, Cindy Hirsch, Meir Ben Rachmiel Vedina, Alvin Levy, Kashka Muskogee, George Richfeld, Francis Levine, Millie Dubrow, Ken Schiffer, Karnina Michal Bat Yitzchak Vitova, Jennifer Herman, Neil Schwartz, Rosa Zaretsky, Michael Merdinger, Vincenzo Restituto, Isabella Dufashard, Yehudit Bat Yocheved, Aharon Ben Batya, Mary Rosenblum, Diana Burkholder, Bob Steinke, Mitchell Friedberg, Teresa Sloan, Jeffrey Wolkowski, Lori Garrett, Hank Levine, and Carol Stoff. If you are praying for the healing of yourself or for the healing of a loved one, I invite you to say the name of that person aloud as my hand passes over the room. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We join together in these words of healing. Mishaberach lecholim. found on the middle of page 371. If you would like the words, I ask everyone please rise. If you would like to put your arms around the party beside you, please feel free to do so. For those joining online, our arms are wrapped around yours. We join together in these words of healing.
Mikor habracha leimotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We remain standing at page 123 for Kiddush. I would say, if you are under the age of 13, to please come on up and help us with leading. But Bev, would you help me passing around some Kiddush cups to everybody? I could say if you're over the age of 13, come and help us with leading. We join together in our bracha, our prayer of the joy and sweetness of Shabbat, page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Were there exactly? They were out right now. It's a Hanukkah miracle.
It's a Hanukkah miracle. We'll have to tell Douglas that he had his prophetic powers because he put out exactly the right number. You can hold on to your cups or just pass them to the end of the row, and eventually they'll get back down to Bev, and you don't have to. Bev, you're fine. We're going to remain standing, page 586 for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atein gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu
Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
Oh, it's the first time I've ever done that. Comes in quick.
You won the race. Please be seated. As we near the conclusion of our service, we do so in the memory of loved ones who have passed in recent days or in years past. In our congregation, we are particularly thinking of the family who is in Shiva for the mourning of Sharon Stricker, and for those families in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, for Alan Henry, Edward Schneider, Neil Andelman, Zuri Shaddai Yisrael, Michael Efron, Bernard Greenstein. And for those yahrzeits which occur around this Shabbat, we are thinking particularly of the families of Shirley Alter, Eugene Baer, Elizabeth Bauer, Edna Big, Milton Blick, Ethel Brown, Lillian Cohen, David Comras, Harry Coven, Scott Edelman, Patty Eisler, Emmett Frank, Lillian Fremdland, Sonia Gilman, Howard Greenberg, Paul Heiss, David Halip, Ruth Hochberg, Barbara Kaplan, Sarah Kaufman, Stanley Klein, Leon Levine, Murray Lichtenstein, Nathan Lambrazo, Ali Marcuson, Ruth Miller, Stephen Niger, Alan Rosenthal, Boris Ross, Max Siegel, Earl Singer, Susan Solomon, Ruth Spiller, Frida Stone, Link Thorman, Shirley Weinberg, and Gilda Jacobson. If you are in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise at this time so that our congregation may recognize you. If you're in the first year mourning the loss of a loved one, Yud Bet, I invite you to please rise and remain standing so our congregation may recognize you. If you are here for a yahrzeit this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise and remain standing so we might recognize you. And if you have a name to add or a correction to make to my pronunciation, I invite you to please rise and say the name of your loved one aloud that we might hear theirs and join their names to ours. If it is your custom to rise, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, we rise in support of those who mourn, joining together in Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oh, say shalom,
Bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, Aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Before we conclude, it is Hanukkah, page 669, the song that is of every single box of candles that you have, Ma'otzor.
Ma'otzor Yeshuati L'chana Elishabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati B'sham Todan Izabeach Le'tachin Matbeach Mitzar HaNabeach Az Egmor B'shir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach Az Egmor B'shir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us.
Shabbat Shalom.